Good morning, good morning. You are going to have to buckle up for today's video because I feel like I'm about to do a lot of word vomit. My inner nerd is like, I am like mind blown, and I feel like I have a lot to talk about today, but we've got some things to do. I've got some appointments later today that I need to try to finish this before, so we're gonna kind of hurry. First, we gotta grab some hay here for breakfast. So today I'm just gonna be talking about the things that I'm learning in regards to the horse's body, the human's body, how they're all connected. Really kind of diving more into, I guess, a health and wellness spin on it, I guess. Okay. That one over here. It was just snowing again this morning. So beautiful. Raven, there's hay. I think she understood me. Just kidding. But anyway, it's pretty warm right now. Let's go take a peek at how warm it is. We're at about 30 degrees-ish Fahrenheit, 0 Celsius. So over the weekend, it's supposed to get down. Saturday has a high of 0. That's the high, but it's supposed to get down to like -8. So I don't know what that is, like -24 Celsius. I love that thermometer. So cool. But all right, girls are fed. Let's go off to the boys. Actually, I should check on the water. We did just fill the trough, but unfortunately my trough has a leak in it, and so it's like slow leaking. Okay, that's not bad. You can see here. So we just filled this a couple days ago. Even with the leak, it seems like we'll be good through the cold stretch. Although maybe today I will top it off with the hose. So whenever cold weather, that means I need to fill the boys' water tank today. But whenever cold weather comes, it's like stay a day ahead. Get the things done. So fill the car's gas tank, all the things that you don't want to do when it's cold outside, you try to get done. So, I need to fill the boys, which means, oh no. I have a hose in my car. I meant to do it the other day. I didn't get to it, but then any little bit of moisture. All right, lovely hay in the back seat. My truck is down, I think, for good. So unfortunately, I'm lugging hay in the car now, and this bale exploded. So anyway, but here's the hose, but it was drained, but even just a little bit of moisture that's probably still in there is going to freeze. Yes, if I had time. I put it in the car yesterday because I'm like, I'll fill it. But then I ran out of time, so I didn't have time to do that. And then it got left in the car because I had to go to work. Anyway, and that, my friends, is the hard part of having horses in 2 locations. It's like one or the other would be so much easier. It's so funny. Nathan just texted me the same thing, saying that today's the best day to do water. All right, Nathan's here to check the hose.
So then I put the key in, right? Press the brake.
Brake pressed.
Hold it down.
Okay.
Hear that noise?
Yep.
Okay.
Now hit the button.
No. Open the door.
Close the door.
And then turn on the headlights.
Okay.
Okay. Take your foot off the brake. Oh wait, no. I forgot.
It didn't
You have
work.
to do the brake again. I forgot about
Oops. Lighter's off.
that. Yeah, turn them off just for kicks.
Okay. So the lights up here don't work. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't.
It's a stupid capacitor. And the way to get at the compressor is to take the whole dash out and just replace. It's so dumb.
Anyway, but the back gate, the back gate of this car, the back door latch won't open. Door. Light.
Yeah.
It's on.
Okay.
Door off. On.
Yeah. Okay. There it is.
Yay! So now theoretically the back latch will open.
Yes, it should. Yes.
That's so dumb. Why does it have to do that?
I don't know, Britta. It's I don't know. Prius. Idiosyncrasy.
Yeah. Jeez Louise. All right, so I'm gonna check on the hose. Oh, it's definitely frozen. All right, so I'll bring this inside. I won't even try.
The power button was definitely on. You just tap it on. Not that the engine is on, but the power's on. Then you do the brake, then the door, then the headlights.
I'm not gonna remember any of that.
No. So everything's off. Get the key out.
All right, Nathan just broke it down for me again, and I'm not gonna remember any of that. Oh my gosh, cars are so complicated. What? We are having like really fun issues with vehicles. This is like the story of our life, though. It's like, yeah. Okay, sorry. I'm like, why is the car beeping? I'm like, oh, my seatbelt. Promise. Wear the seatbelt all the time. I am not one of those. Good morning, boys. So they've been outside overnights lately. Oh, sir, you've got the burdock. Aren't you handsome? Aren't you a handsome man? What a handsome boy. All right, so they're gonna stay outside, but I am gonna bring them in just to, you know, pick out their feet, give them some feed, and then throw them back out with some hay. Ready? Hi, love. Theodore. Whoops. There you go, buddy. Hey, bud. Thank you, buddy. This is the ice sandwich that he was standing on. It's pretty bad. All right, got their little food truck here. All right, food is delivered. So we're just gonna let the boys out, and then I'm gonna talk to you guys about what I'm really excited about. I feel like I'm really learning in parallel right now with things in regard to my own body, but then also with the horses. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just really cool. Wow, it just got like, I feel like it just got dark. It was kind of sunny earlier. All right, they're gonna grab their hay, and I'm gonna try to be brave and sit with them so that you guys hopefully aren't staring at me this whole time. And of course I don't have a tripod with me. Today, what I want to talk to you guys about is like so spontaneous, and I feel like that's what I like to do on YouTube, and I feel like I really just tend to, I know a lot about YouTube, but I tend to like break the rules, and I'm just trying to find a space to exist in that works for me. So I'm like kind of just, I don't know, I always just do things not well. But anyway, I have this thing that might work as a tripod. It's like a foldy. Look at that. All right, between my orange twisty and this traffic cone, I should be able to make some kind of tripod. Didn't need the traffic cone. I think this will do. Theodore's coming to say hi. Hey, buddy. Hi, you sweet boy. Hi, you want to say hi? How precious. Aw. All right. Oh, now we've got another one. Hi, Lovey. Hi. Okay, I think that might work, other than being blinded. Anyway, I'm rambling. So today I want to talk to you guys about, this morning I was reading a paper on the neurophysiological control of postural mechanisms. A few days ago, I got sucked into signing up for another course, postural rehab professional. It's really a continuing education for like vets, chiropractors, but I'm kind of like, I don't know, I'm kind of big into like flooding myself with information, and I feel like I can do fairly well. I know enough to do fairly well in like that kind of setting. And actually early on, I wanted to become a physical therapist. I don't know, you know, as your childhood dream morphs, one of the things I wanted to be was a physical therapist. And the reason for that was I have had really bad feet. High school was when it started for me. I had severe arch pain. Ruined a lot for me. Running, sports. I remember at its worst, my school had like just one flight of stairs, and I was riding an elevator. I was in so much pain riding an elevator up. One distinct imprint of a memory was, so I loved running. I don't run anymore, but I loved running for me, it just brought me a lot of joy. And I remember I was playing field hockey, watching my team. They were doing like, it was like preseason, they were doing like running sprints, and they were all complaining. And I'm sitting under a tree by myself in tears, like, oh, how I just, wow, geez. Oh, how I just want to be doing what you're doing. And anyway, but like that piqued my interest in the body and injuries, and I wanted to become a physical therapist. I liked the detective side of figuring out what's wrong. Fast forward a bit to now, I've been having a lot of like limiting like physical stuff going on. I have cut a lot from my life that I used to do, running, dancing. I used to do West Coast swing dance. And at the same time, on like the horse side of things, my interests have been merging from getting into Mustangs and training, and then getting into like the nervous system into training, and then getting into the equine body and bodywork. Lately getting into hoof care, learning how that affects the equine body. And now it's like I'm getting into posture and how hoof care affects, posture and all the things, how posture affects our existence physically, mentally, emotionally, all the things. So there's like two parallels going on this year. And earlier last year, I almost had surgery on my foot. I opted not to. I got a second opinion. They had a disagreeing opinion, and I wasn't confident with either of them. So I opted not to do either of these surgeries. I just felt like it just wasn't enough. They weren't quite, like, neither of them seemed confident. So I started going to a postural rehab institute. It's a branch of physical therapy that focuses a lot on restoring posture, the nervous system, and its like effects on the whole body, on healing. It's a huge parallel. I'm like really starting to understand the foot and the hoof as a sensory not organism, a sensory something, whatever, insert your word. It's like a sensory thing, but you're getting feedback to the brain. When I was at a physical therapy appointment, it was so interesting. So they did like a testing my hips. My left hip was like locking up. I didn't know what this guy was doing, but he took a tissue and shoved it into, so I was on my right side. He took a tissue, shoved it into my arch of my right foot, did the test again, and like my hip like did the whole thing. And it had like unlocked, and I didn't know what he was doing at the time, but as he explained it to me, and as I'm now greater understanding, by giving the brain that sensory input, it kind of like told my brain where I was in space. Like, hi, it's Editing Britta. So more than anything, this really nailed home for me that dysfunction isn't just an imbalance of strength and weakness or an inflexibility. It's also the input that the brain is receiving and how it's translating where the body is in space. And that fascinated me. Just how, anyway, so this morning I was reading this paper, for this course I just signed up for, and I was just like light bulbs going off left and right. And it's so hard because I get excited about these things, and it's so hard to know how to talk about it because there's like 10 million bajillion rabbit trails. But I feel like I was starting to see like the parallels. So my posture has been greatly affected by my feet for years, and what I have ended up doing is adapting. So rather than being on my arches, I've been walking on the sides of my feet, and that's been causing a lot of problems with my posture, with my back, with my spine, my neck. I was just in the last 3 weeks, my neck had seized up. I literally like couldn't turn it, and now I have it back. But I was in bed. The pain was so severe. I was in bed for 3 full days. Anyway, because of adaptations that I have made, my whole body has been struggling, and there might be other complications on top of that I'm kind of going into, and I'll share at a later time, perhaps. It's just fascinating stuff. And then with the hoof, understanding to a greater extent now how the hoof so greatly affects posture and then injuries and all the things. So horses, when their hooves are growing, when their toes get long, it's kind of the same thing. Like the input that the brain provides when the toes are long, for example, the brain is basically telling the horse it's as if it was on a hill. So the horse will adjust with the front feet coming further underneath of it, and then to counterbalance, the hinds come in, and you get that on a pedestal type stance, which affects the whole rest of the body. So I'm just like so blown away by all this stuff, and I know I'm rambling and this is probably not making sense, but I really want to I don't know, I want to hear from you guys because I feel like right now, like some of these things I'm talking about, I've never really talked about before. I mean, I've hinted at it in some other videos, but I kind of feel lost when it comes to sharing it on my channel here. And I'm curious if this stuff even interests you. Like this morning though, and I'm kind of forgetting what exactly I wanted to share, but I feel hopeful. I'm at a spot with my own body that like I'm like really concerned for like my future. And it's like one of those things that I never, for years I've been struggling. I never verbalized it. I didn't know how to verbalize it. It's not like I had like an injury. And so my body just adapted. But I've been realizing that like my body has been living in a state of like fight or flight, and the effect on my own nervous system, the effect on my body and like my own healing. And it's just like, there's like so much to talk about. I don't know how to talk about it. I don't know if you guys are even interested. Today I'm going to a Rolfing practitioner. Rolfing is structural integration. It's working with your fascia and the fascia lines and kind of helping the body to reorganize itself in a way that affects posture, affects all the things. Actually, at my appointment today, I'm kind of nervous for the appointment because today's the session they start like working on more of the feet. And I do want to talk about these sessions because not a lot of people know about Rolfing. It's a really fascinating thing that I think more people need to know about because of the effects on the body. The fascia is just like, where do you even begin? There's so much to talk about its relationship to posture, your nervous system, healing, like all the things. I feel like it might be the answer for some people, like, oh, check this out, this actually could help. I really want to talk about it. I think I want to have like sessions where like literally talk about like, oh, so in the first session they did this, here's what I felt. The second session I did this, here's what I felt. Today they're working on my feet. I'm really nervous because in the first session, I'll just give you a little blip. The first session, they got into my feet, and I felt like my foot had opened up. I've also lost some mobility in my ankle, which is, again, carrying up the chain. Oh, and she actually unlocked this shoulder some too. So my shoulder, my posture is like, it's brought forward, and you can't, oh, the other thing about posture, you can't like force it. Posture is not being like, it's not a forced thing. Sorry. I'm like really excited about this stuff. There's just so much to talk about. I don't know how to talk about it. But she unlocked my shoulder. She opened up my foot. I am a short-term memory person. When I walk through the door, I kind of forget what just happened to me. As I left, I'm going down the stairs. My brain's already thinking ahead to the next thing. As I'm going down the stairs, I noticed my ankle had like, oh, wow, there's more mobility. And then again, I stopped at a grocery store on the way home, completely forgetting what I had just gone to. And I felt like my foot had opened up. However, I did have some minor shifts in my body afterwards. And then, but I hurt more afterwards because the shift back over brought back pain that I had been experiencing, which is why my body had shifted over. Anyway, so today I'm gonna like give her that feedback and see where it goes. But like I'm feeling more hopeful with my own body. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it has me worried. Most people look at me and like, you're young, you're healthy, but they don't like see how much like I am struggling, and I haven't, and like I also haven't voiced it very well to myself or to others. And like even things like, oh, my hand has been like just like really bothering me for days now, and I'm having trouble like holding all kinds of things. But like there's like it's like head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Like I feel like I'm struggling, and the only reason it's like I've been functional, I think, because I am young and I've made some really bad compensations that are taking its toll on me. But I'm feeling more hopeful, and I feel like I really am excited to be learning about the horses. So the horse posture, same thing. It's like I'm learning in parallel. Hi, sir. I'm just like learning in parallels. I feel like my own struggles with my own body is creating an urgency for me to learn this stuff, and therefore it's like sinking in deeper, and I think I'm absorbing it better than I would if it didn't matter to me as much. And I 100% get like my channel, I've pivoted. Like this is not what it used to be. I don't know exactly where it's going because I'm developing, I am changing, and at the same time it's crazy because all of my interests are like kind of merging for me. And here's where I want to take this. So you know how I've mentioned to you guys a while back, I want to start a second channel. It's going to be all on Mustangs, all the things. I'm saying this because it's like, you know, you kind of like put it down, say it, and like hopefully it'll get there. But like what I really want to do is I want this other channel to be some similar videos to what I've done in the past, you know, going to adoption events, talking about like the online corral stuff. But I actually want to bring in stuff. A lot of people want to know, how do I pick a Mustang? And I want to be able to be more helpful in that sense and talk about things that I see in their bodies. I think the most exciting thing that I am learning is that the body is adaptive. It can change. And for myself, I've been to like a lot of physical therapists, chiropractors, doctors, this, that, and like I feel like I've heard so many different opinions, and like I feel like I've already had surgery on I've had surgery on both feet, but like I think for a while I just kind of felt like I accepted like this is it. And that's a horrible place to be. Sorry. And it's a horrible place to be. And I feel like I'm not satisfied just being a patient. I feel like I'm not satisfied being a patient. Like, I really, really want to know. I want to understand this stuff. I want to share it here. Anyway, so the second channel, I want to be able to talk about those things. And I also want to be talking about, like, training methods, because I think there are some really brutal training practices that I feel like take no consideration of the horse's emotional system, of their bodies. So that's part of my why. And it like goes back to the Mustangs, and there's like a lot of like moving pieces and strings that I couldn't possibly tell you guys about, but it's kind of like really cool to see. When I was in high school and wanted to become a physical therapist, I had no idea I could like do that with horses. Anyway, I had no idea I could do that with horses, and it's just fun to see things kind of come full circle. Hi, love. And yeah, got the pretty snow. Okay, so moving forward, like, please, like, seriously, tell me, if this is stuff that interests you. Like, tell me your, like, what, I don't know, just give me some feedback here. And I totally get some people, I've actually had quite a few people tell me, like, sorry, I'm subscribing because this is no longer what I want. And that's fine. That's totally fine. I expect that. In fact, I am glad. Like, when I see like people like unsubscribe, it's kind of good because it means I'm getting closer and closer to like the real true audience that like cares and gets it. And it's like, that's fine. People's interests change. And it's like, I know I'm not going to be what everyone wants. That's impossible. So like, it's kind of like a good, like it's a good thing. So, that's totally fine. But if you are interested, please do give me feedback on this stuff. But, anyway, and also, like, I'm interested to hear your stories of, like, you know, how have horses been a part of, like, your personal journey, health-wise, emotionally. Like, you know, horses, there's a reason that they're a really powerful, like, therapeutic animal on so many levels. And, you know, why they're just so special. So, I think I'm signing off for now, but, poor Nathan, like, this morning before I, like, started this video, I was just like, let me just tell you all this stuff. I'm so excited about it. I was just like so excited and just like, wow, just like, I'm excited to be taking these courses. I'm excited to be learning what I'm learning. I'm excited to be like putting pieces together. At the same time, it's just very overwhelming on how I make videos and talk about these things, because obviously I don't want to be too like sciencey, but like it really gets me excited, and I want to try to like make some of this stuff like more accessible to people, if that makes sense. Like the studies are out there, but like sometimes scientists aren't like the best people to be like I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes it's good hearing science from a multiple of perspectives in real life scenarios. So, all right, well, I'm off. Have a good rest of your day. Bye. Just remembered I should grab a hay bale to put in the car and I want to get gas. And I'm going to do the water tonight because all the things to do before the cold hits.